Wait for a couple people to get in. Give it just a minute. Hopefully everything is facing the right direction if you're on YouTube, because last time I remember everything was sort of flipped on the stream, but I think I fixed it now. So all right, everyone. So basically what's going on is I kind of like doing live streams. First of all, I like doing live streams like quite a bit more because I don't know, just feels like you're more interacting with people that are actually on your stream. But on YouTube, you can't really add comments as of right now. I'm trying to work out in a way that I can see those comments as you put them on. So I'll work on that. But for now, you'd have to go on Instagram in order to be able to add any comments on anything. But I'm just going to give an update today just about basically what's going on in terms of tomorrow with a potential severe weather threat. It's a very conditional severe weather threat. It may not amount to anything significant, but then again, if conditions are perfect, it could amount to something. So there's a lot of different variables at play in this weather. Models are clear on what exactly is going to happen. So, but there will be development of some stronger thunderstorms in multiple areas across southern lower Michigan and northern Indiana, northern Ohio on Saturday, tomorrow. So that is what I'm going to be talking about. I think on YouTube, our little subscription stuff is showing. Feel free to scan that QR code if you're interested. And there's also our other contact information there. I'm going to bring it up to the screen because that's what you want to see. All right, so you should be seeing the screen now. I'm going to check that just to make sure. Yes, you can. All right, so looking at the latest models. Well, first off, let's look at the risk area. Right now, southern Michigan, portions of northern, lower Michigan, eastern Michigan. Then you have northern Indiana, northern Ohio. Southern Michigan is in a slight risk for severe weather. They're not making it any of a higher type of threat because it's a very conditional scenario, of course. Marginal risk down south for the remnants of the strong thunderstorms to develop over southern Michigan tomorrow. So they're saying that models are just agreeing. There's a couple variables at play depending on how much stability we'll be able to obtain in the atmosphere, and just if we'll have this strong enough wind shear and other different ingredients will come together to produce severe weather. If we go to the threat for a tornado, it's very low, 2%. That's the lowest measurement in regards to what the National Weather Service forecasts. So 2% low. Wind is the main threat from this. That's where the slight risk area is outlining. The wind threat is about a 15% threat. So that's something that that is really what they're watching in terms of severe weather for tomorrow. The wind, the hail is rather low too, 5%. Not much to be worried about in terms of hail. Tornado threat and wind are really the bigger concerns with this storm system. They're saying that relatively speaking, there's just going to be like a tornado or two. That's not too much. They're not really using strong language with this. It's really more of a minimal type of scenario, just with the main risk of wind. But yeah, if ingredients do come together in an appropriate way, then we'll have a more robust threat that we'll be dealing with. So, slight risk for southern lower Michigan. Let's take a look at the actual models. Again, usually what I do on my streams is I just look at the models with everyone on there. I personally, if I'm being honest, I know some stuff about the models, but I honestly just like to look at them, see what information they can provide as to what severe weather might occur, where and when. And I will try to explain with what I know, how this could relate to our potential severe weather threat. So I'm going to go to the HRR model. This is one of the models that is more commonly used to forecast severe weather. This is the HRR. You might not be able to see it on Instagram too well. My phone's running Instagram. So if we go to southern Michigan, right there, you're looking at a map of it, and this is at about 4 p.m. 4 p.m. on Saturday. So I'm gonna roll it back a little bit. If I go to throughout the morning on Saturday, there's already going to be clusters of showers and strong thunderstorms moving through. These ones may not be as intense as the ones we see down south later, because there's just so much going on in the up here that some storms may not be able to amount to anything significant, but they still could pack a punch, and there would likely be frequent lightning, a lot of torrential rain across Wisconsin, northern Michigan, Upper Peninsula, and it'll start to progress southward throughout the day. So we're going to be keeping an eye on what they do. If they start to weaken, that's where we could more likely see severe weather, and that's what the HRR model is forecasting, that the original cluster of thunderstorms will start to weaken, and then a new line of cells of thunderstorms, maybe some mesocyclones, will develop across lower Michigan as the front progresses southeastward. So as it continues to progress southeastward, we will, let's go to this one here. All right, so southern Michigan, this is at about 3 p.m. So I'm going to take a look at the instability, or CAPE. CAPE is a measure of instability in the atmosphere, and it's based on a collection of different things, especially the amount of sunlight that we receive and the dew points and the dew points. So we're going to go to surface-based CAPE. It's not very high for southern lower Michigan at this time, but if we progress it a little bit further, to push it over to right about here, there's more instability off to areas such as Iowa and Illinois, but there's not going to really be enough juice in order to pump severe weather in this system, in this area over here. Over here, there will be CAPE, despite being a little bit weaker, but we have other things that are coming together. Let me take a look at, we have the CAPE, we have a lapse. Take a look at the lapse rates. They're really low. It's very conditional. And I mean, models are really kind of a troublesome thing to work with. Let's see. Pull up surface-based lifted index. It's moderate for southern lower Michigan. Let's take a look at supercell composites, what I like to look at, because it just puts everything together and tells us, okay, this is where we could see supercells. So supercell level of 5 in Kalamazoo County, 5 in eastern Michigan, 3 to 5 in eastern Michigan. Then up here it's pretty high in central lower peninsula of Michigan. So that's something to keep an eye on right there, based on the HRR. But HRR, I'm trying to form my words here. Dew points. Dew points are something to really keep an eye on. With dew points in the 70s, dew points are a measure of how much moisture can be held in the atmosphere. So at 71 degrees, the air can hold a lot more moisture than dew points at 67. So basically what dew point means is when you reach the dew point, say a dew point of 40 degrees, if it was 40 degrees in Minnesota, which wouldn't happen in the middle of summer, if it was 40 degrees, then that's when you're at the maximum amount that air can hold, maximum amount of moisture that air can hold. So at 71, that's a high dew point. That means there's a lot of moisture in the air when you're hitting 71 degrees. So that's why we're looking at the development of more thunderstorms, because there's a lot more moisture in the atmosphere that could bring about the development of more precipitation. So we're going to look at the upper air dynamics. Can't really look at that. Significant tornado parameters for this, really low. Not really anything to pay extreme attention to. 1.2 is not very high. The significant tornado parameters across southern Michigan are not that high. Not at all. So really just looking at maybe a tornado or two, and they're probably going to be not major, maybe EF0, even if there is a tornado. So nothing too concerned with that. The real threat is damaging winds as a result of the front. So NAM look at the severe weather here. This is also, again, at 4 p.m. Surface-based CAPE. We have, see, the NAM puts out a little bit more CAPE than the HRR model. And it puts out a ton of CAPE in Iowa, Illinois, which is why seemingly all these models going back to the HRR seem to forecast, going back to northern Illinois, more developed thunderstorms in northern Illinois than in Michigan, because there's just more CAPE out there. There's more instability, and the lake sort of cuts off some of that instability from reaching Michigan. So that's why you see more robust thunderstorms developing in northern Illinois because of just higher CAPE. So let's go to the supercell composite for the NAM. Looks a little bit more on the liberal side of things too. It's at a 7 and 3 to 7 across southern lower Michigan. So this model is higher than the HRR, and usually the NAM is a little bit more trustworthy, but that doesn't mean that something could change later on where the whole forecast is different, because models change all the time, just like weather does. So let's take a look at the significant tornado parameters for this forecast as well. Still showing really low. Both models agree that there's not going to be a very significant tornado event across southern lower Michigan. But if I do a scan, there's like a marginal tornado threat. That's pretty accurate. Possible hazard type is marginal tornado threat. And HRR probably will agree with that. If I go on the HRR, marginal severe. So the HRR is more leaning towards the fact that there might just be some damaging winds. NAM leans more towards the idea that there is a marginal tornado threat. So that's why with these developing models that we have here, that's why the Storm Prediction Center is putting out the slight risk area for severe weather. And it's going to be something that we continue to keep an eye on throughout the overnight hours and into tomorrow. And once storms start to develop, we'll actually be able to take a look at, and as we get closer, the models may become more concise and we'll be able to develop more accurate forecasts. But it looks like we're just going to stick in a slight risk area for now, and we shall see what happens. Okay, so that's pretty much all I wanted to show, but I could also pull up an interactive little future radar tool here so that we get a better idea of how these storms will develop. So this is what's happening right now. We've got scattered thunderstorms all across the area, torrential rain, torrential downpours, heading off to the east. Overnight, we begin to see those push off to the east, and then these storms off to the north, which are producing severe weather in Minnesota right now, will form a line, which will progress over northern Michigan, and then these storms will start to develop these clusters, these lines, and that right there looks like some torrential downpours for sure. Maybe some severe weather in there, damaging winds, maybe an isolated tornado, but nothing to be extremely concerned about. I mean, it's another summer severe weather threat, but if something does happen, we will be tracking it, and it'll continue throughout northern Indiana, northern Ohio, throughout the overnight hours before it starts to weaken as you head into Indiana, Ohio. Some severe weather may occur in southern Ohio, so that would be Cedarville, down in southern Ohio on Sunday, but that threat is marginal as well. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show. Hopefully the live stream was somewhat helpful to you. I know it's just me looking at the models and being like, oh, hey, this is here. But it helps me, and I'm interested in keeping watch over these types of things. Honestly, probably should study a little bit more. But hopefully this was helpful to you, and I will keep track of this as it progresses forward. Make sure to stick with our Instagram page for more updates. All right. I am signing off on both Instagram and YouTube, and I will encourage you all to have a good evening.